just want to also say, as Michael mentioned, I just want to say a very sincere thanks to the whole Spectronics team, the guys in the green caps over there. They work tirelessly over and above their regular day jobs on endless tasks that we've flung at them, and generally it's gone pretty well, hasn't it, guys? Until a few weeks ago. But I also just want to welcome you, all of you here, and it's just amazing. I wish you could be up here looking out. It's amazing to have you here, and without you, we don't have a conference. So thank you.
Who can't even read a word, they're emergent writers. The things that they're doing with these pencils are really shocking people. And if you go to our website, we've got 2 literacy case studies up there on Jake and Matthew, and there's videos of them, and there's writing samples of them, and it chronicles their literacy development over 2 years, where they start with just scribbling with these pencils, and 2.5 years later, they're starting to write recognizable words. And that's the power of writing, using these pencils.
So I want you to take particular notice of this one, the pencil that has the alphabet, the print alphabet chart, because that's going to play into my next story. This is Ben again, the one who wanted to impress me because he's not evil like our president. It was Father's Day. We're writing Father's Day poems. This is about a year later. And his communication device, not the one shown there, but a different device, was broken again. And he was really frustrated. So I got a flipboard for him and started using the
lovely music and a picture of John's mum. And John's typical behaviour is he sits in his chair, he chews his hands. His hands drop to his table, he picks them up and he chews them again. He doesn't explore things, so he put things on his tray, he wouldn't go and find them. And the teacher very carefully put a huge plate switch about this big on his tray. John chews his hands drop onto the table, it presses the switch, some music happens, John looks up. Looks at it because he's listening to the music. When it stops, he gets bored, hands go in his mouth, he chews for a little while, hands drop on the switch, and it all starts again. And John had no understanding of the link between the two things. It's incredibly difficult to be absolutely sure. Some kids just get it, don't they? You give them something and they're away.
They could read it over and over and over. I put it on the computer, I put it in PowerPoint, I had it printed it out, had it Light Tech. Bored by Shel Silverstein. I can't afford a skateboard. I can't afford a surfboard. I can't afford an outboard. All I can afford is a board. Okay, now think of what we're doing there from a language perspective. It's very cute, it's very fun. But we've got board, B-O-R-E-D, and B-O-A-R-D. We also can start adding to that. So now, what are you going to say? I can't afford a, come on guys, what are we going to add? I can't afford a snowboard, chalkboard, whiteboard, cupboard. And now that's interesting because you say it differently. It looks like board, but you say it differently. Every board. So lots of opportunities to follow up with that from a standpoint of phonemic awareness.
That's it done. The little green bar that you may or may not have seen there was the conversion taking place. And
the reader is introduced to the narrator, Sky Finch, who describes her family history.
Trust me, it usually doesn't sound like that. So that's the little MP3 that I was talking about earlier. Just time for 2 little writing features because I'm going to have to get off so the next person can come on. Sorry for the people who were there yesterday, this is kind of not new to you at all. So we've got a document with some homophone errors that aren't highlighted in red because Word doesn't do that. And we've got the spelling mistakes there. So we'll go for the homophones first. We click on this little icon, the guy holding up his ear, hand to his ear, and that will check the homophones for us. Okay? So we have a box here which can be resized.
Ready to put the features for their character and put a lead on their character, your own personal character. The teacher said, why did you do that? And the student said, well, what did you do? So the the teacher was able to see that that student related that physical feature to age, to those types of things that they may not have been able to recognise without the student engagement. Things like interpreting characteristics of a book. So you might have been reading a book in class. You can get the students to go in and without having the pictures, go in and say, well, what do you think that character looks like in the book? So, you know, the student has to think, well, what did I read in the book? You know, did the character have blue eyes, or did I interpret the character having blue eyes? You know, what weight they were, and so on. So you can get a lot of information out of that, and to identify how well they're actually comprehending written information or information from other formats.
For a workshop, we use the acapella speech output, so yes, we can say Toby talks, but there are also boards for, in this case, for text messaging within Communicator, so you can send your SMSs with it, chatting, MSN, ICQ pages, Twitter, using on-screen keyboards to access normal Windows applications, and there's even a page for using Skype. This specific page I've downloaded from a website called PageSetCentral.com, which is an exchange website for Toby Communicator pages and page sets, so everybody can upload this stuff and download for free. And this is one of the examples that's on that website. So I guess we can tick the boxes there. When it comes to, let me switch back to Communicator quickly, just to give you an idea for people that haven't worked with it.
Your status menu that's got things like Bluetooth, in my thing, Time Machine, my wireless network, thank you. And other information like that. On the right hand side you've got Spotlight for your searching. And then basically you've got your desktop, and within your desktop that's where you get to all the nice things on your Mac, your files, folders and applications. So one of the, I guess the basic physical accessibility tools I like to talk about on the Mac is good old sticky keys. And these are what I've treated, because these machines have hopefully already got sticky keys enabled. And it's it's actually the same keystroke on Windows. If you hit your left shift key 5 times, you should hear a clunking type of sound, and it should turn sticky keys on. If you didn't hear any sound.
Technology, which is much more sophisticated than the sort of observational results you can get from a P10. But if you're clever, you can, in your own mind, as you're watching a student interact with the system, you can be thinking about those sorts of things and watching where they're tracking on the screen in real time. So you don't get those. There are a few hard copy PDFs of eye tracking that you can get with the P10, but not these sophisticated things. Just to talk about some of the uses of eye tracking technology in the research literature. There's a lot of research going on within cognitive psychology, developmental psychology, around the use of eye tracking technology, so things of assessment of perceptual learning in small children. There's another paper I read about task efficiency of horizontal versus vertical arrangement of objects, and they show that if objects are arranged vertically, people process things cognitively much more quickly.